perfect definition of a hack job. Look at that, though. Yes. Back everybody, my name is Andy Rawls. So we've had some new subscribers roll in from the previous video where I built Matt Carricker's dining room table. I just want to say thanks to you guys for joining in. You probably have no idea what this project is. You might, I don't know, but this is a 1976 Argosy Airstream that I have been laboring over for 2 years. I've been working on this thing really hard. We took it from the ground up, took this thing apart, took the shell off, cleaned it all up. Now I'm building out the interior, and in this video we are working on the shower and some plumbing. But real quick, I want to explain what this guy is. So this is a really cool lifting column that I wasn't planning on using. I found it online, and it was very comparable in price to the manual ones that go in boats or RVs. So what this will be, obviously, this is the dinette area, and this thing with a little remote will raise to 30 inches, which is table height. So I'll have a 2-foot round table here that we can sit around and eat, and then at night when it's time to go to sleep, we can drop this thing down and it'll go all the way down to the bed level, to the bench level, and basically become a bed. And so my two boys will be able to sleep up here in the front of the camper. The round part of the table will have leaves that add to it, so we'll hook those on and they'll go the full length. And so you can have a full-length table here, but it'll also serve as a platform for the bed. Pretty cool. That's going to be an upcoming video. That'll be one of the last big videos for this build, and it'll be probably a couple videos away, but we're going to be getting to it pretty soon. We'll be building out the shelf here, the table, and all that cool stuff. So that's an explanation of what that is. Let's jump into this video. I want to thank Simply Safe for sponsoring it. They're an awesome company. You'll learn more about them soon. And then also Acuva, you're going to see one of their products. They are a really cool water filter. They're a company out of Canada that makes a really awesome water filter. And then Total Boat, obviously, who's been an amazing help to this entire build. They walked me through the whole fiberglassing process of the shower pan, which we're also going to be doing in this video. So let's jump in and get started. Okay, today I want to, or not today, this end of the day actually, but I got about an hour. I want to get started on the water filter that I'm going to install in my kitchen cabinet. Now, if you've been with this build since the beginning, you know that, you kind of know about this. This is a Acuva water filter that uses UV light, and it also has a sediment filter on it. It's pretty dang cool. I went over this in pretty good detail, and I'll link the video in the description. But basically, you got this main system here, and this is the UV light filter. We'll mount that, and your water lines go in here. You've got an inline filter here that's probably just taking sediment out and stuff like that. And then all the other components you need. So I'm going to get started on this. Okay, that is the bottom 7 7/16. 7 7/16. Oh, that was going fast. Cool, the thing just pops out. Yeah, buddy. Okay, it'll be like this. Get in there, man. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've got the UV filter set. The inline filter is back there. Now we got to get the smart faucet. We got to get water lines through and power through this cabinet. So we're going to drill a hole big enough to get all that through there, and then we can start connecting things. Find our hole. I think that's it. Yep. Jeez. I think I've strained muscles on that. Oh, I could have gone behind the cabinet. Genius, dude. Doing the hole for no reason. Smart man. Power's going in here. It's got a nice little threaded attachment to hold it on. I think that's good. Well, that's sweet. Look at that. She lights up. Freaking cool. Hey, we got water running. Judd just helped me hook it up.
Okay.
Can you say hi, bud?
Hi.
All right. We had a little leakage. It's hard to tell, but we didn't quite have the pipe set far enough down into that little flow restrictor majigger, and the same on the filter. So I got some water back there, but it runs. And look, at this cool blue light that comes on, tells you everything's working. The blue light on the actual filter back there comes on. No leaks. And running water. I don't think there's any leaks. Oh, it looks good. We got some clean, fresh water now. Thank you, Acuva, for setting that up. I'm excited to have this. I was just thinking to myself, maybe it wasn't such a great idea to put the actual filter in there, because if it does ever leak, it's gonna soak that cabinet, but hopefully it doesn't leak. Mission accomplished. I gotta get a towel now and dry this off. You wanna help me clean it up?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. Okay, so we're rolling into, it's the weekend now. Next week we're going to be working on building out the shower pan and the shower enclosure, which is a big part of this build and something that I've been thinking through and figuring out for a while. Now, a couple weeks ago I was down, that scared me. Ice just fell out of the gutter of the shop. It's been pretty cold here in Texas. We've got a lot of ice everywhere. Man, that freaked me out. Okay, refocus. Yeah, a couple weeks ago I was down with COVID, and I had Robert build out the shower pan out of 1/2-inch plywood. So I want to cut to that footage now, show you what he did. He shot some footage of that, and then we're going to go into the camper and get this drain and plumbing all ironed out before we can build out the entire shower. Now, while Robert builds this box, I'm going to tell you about today's sponsor, SimpliSafe. They are a security system that experts trust. In fact, the best home security system of 2021, rated by PC Magazine and Popular Science. Now, before I tell you about the system, I want to tell you about a few things that I really like about it. I've had it on my house and my shop for 3 to 4 years, and by far my most favorite part of the entire system are the outdoor cameras. I have a doorbell camera, and I have their newer outdoor camera. Both cameras detect motion, and the best part about these cameras is they connect to my SimpliSafe app. So when they do detect motion, I get a notification on my map that says doorbell camera detecting motion or garage camera detecting motion. It's actually a very cool feature. When I'm not at home, I know when someone is at my house, which is something I really appreciate. So their new wireless outdoor security camera extends SimpliSafe's comprehensive protection to the perimeter of your property with an ultra-wide 140-degree field, 1080p HD resolution, and a built-in spotlight with color night vision. It is pretty impressive, this little camera, and I have it set up so that it checks on my garage, the Argosy, and my shop area, and then the doorbell camera can cover the front of my house. Now, alongside these amazing outdoor cameras, the SimpliSafe lineup includes sensors that covers every entry point of your house, windows, doors. They have HD security cameras for inside as well. They have extras like smart locks, which I also greatly appreciate. It can be connected to the app, and you can unlock and lock your house when you're not there. The main part of this system is this really cool and stylish home base. And then you have a keypad. You pull all of your sensors and components out, connect those to the base using the keypad, set everything up. It takes 30 minutes to an hour depending on how comprehensive of a system you have. You don't have to hassle with contractors. You can do the entire thing yourself. It's all DIY. And plus, the monitoring service costs less than $1 per day. Even better, there are no long-term contracts, so you can start and stop anytime with no hidden fees. In my opinion, SimpliSafe is the best way to get 24/7 protection of your home or property. So now is the perfect time to get your system. Link is in the description. Save 20% on your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplisafe.com/Andy Rawls to learn more. Now, that was the first time Robert was ever been tasked with filming something in the shop, and he did a pretty good job, but he did forget to film him assembling the box. But he made up for it by filming this little gem of action. Okay, back in the camper, got all the plumbing here. So let me show you what we've got. This whole side of the camper is all plumbed in. The water is running to it. I don't have it on right now because it's so cold. I drained everything, but drains are all working. Water's all working. The toilet does work as well too. It's got water to it and it flushes, and that's awesome. So the shower is the next thing, and then I've got to run a drain line over here to a little sink under that window. You guys have seen a lot of this already. I've already showed some of this in the video, and honestly, I didn't really do this the best way because I've raised my shower off the floor of the Airstream of the trailer in order to fit all the drainage stuff. Not really the best way because you don't have a lot of headroom, but I've committed. Having done this now and getting comments and feedback, you can actually, well, obviously you can put some of this under the camper, but you can actually run your drain right into your gray tank, but that requires that your inlet on your gray tank be positioned in the proper place. And for me, it's not. I messed up the inlets on the tank, so it's part of the problem. But I have an inlet there. Let me get a little bit brighter in here if we can. So I have an inlet there, which is actually not going to be an inlet. That's going to be a vent, and we'll vent right underneath this. And then if you see kind of back in here where that T is, that is the actual inlet. So they're basically on either side of the shower pan of the shower, and it's not the best setup. I really thought I had that figured out, but once I got in here and realized those weren't in a good spot, I realized I was going to have to raise this up. Right here obviously is going to be all wall, and we'll have a cool little panel here that'll hinge up or whatever we'll do, and then you can get under there and you can access it. Same thing on this side inside the bathroom. I'll make this accessible as well, so we can get here and we can mess with the vent, deal with any of that. So that is the game plan. You would think with all this plumbing stuff I could finish it now, but of course I've got to go to the big box store. The big box store is that place right there. Honestly, this needs to be cut back. Yeah, that hacked it up a little bit, bud.
But I don't want these to break, so I turn them off.
You don't want them to break? I feel like I just learned a lesson here. I have a bunch of pipes scattered on the floor. This is the pipe I needed. This was the pipe I was supposed to use. That was the old pipe that we replaced because it was too short, but for some reason I picked that pipe up and I glued it in. And that glue grabs fast, so there's no taking that apart. This isn't going to line up now, this just isn't going to work. So I guess either I'm going to splice it, make that pipe longer, or figure out how I'm going to get that to that. Pop this dude loose. So what I'll do here is just end up getting a 45. I'll drop this here, cut that one a little shorter, 45 it into the drain. Actually, it'll be kind of nice because it's a little bit cleaner, closer to the edge of the wall. It's closer to the wall there. I can have a little bit more space for storage. So we're gonna stop here. I've gotten quite a bit accomplished. You know, that's in. I'm gonna drop this down, make sure that everything lines up, and then at least I have everything tidied up and plumbed up so that we can go ahead and get this finished and installed, and the shower completely installed. So we're moving forward. I'm a slow plumber, not fast at this. Okay, so we are set up right here, shower pan. Robert's making a bunch of noise on the sander. We've got fiberglass. So they sent me two different types of fiberglass. I've got 12 ounce, which is a heavier sheet of fiberglass, and I got 6 ounce. And so basically the way I'm gonna pattern this is I'm gonna do a long run of fiberglass this way, the whole piece, and then the 6 ounce will flow across the sides like this. And it'll be a little bit tricky here in these corners. We'll have to cut patches probably to go in there and make sure we get a good amount of glass on the corners. I'll probably build up, you know, I don't know, 3 or 4 layers. Since it's plywood and it's supported, we don't have to get a lot of strength out of it, but we obviously wanted to have good waterproofing. Okay, I'm going to jump in and voice over this section and kind of explain how I did things. Now, I want to start by saying this is the first time I've ever done any fiberglass work. I'm a newbie, I'm an amateur at this, so I got a lot of insight and direction from Kristen over at Total Boat. They were super helpful, and they provided everything for this, including these really amazing scissors that made all the difference in the world cutting that fiberglass. Made it very quick and easy. So basically what we're doing, obviously, is I kind of explained, we're laying out the 12 ounce sheets, which are going to run longwise, and I'm going to cut out 4 pieces here, and then I'm going to cut out some 6 ounce fiberglass to go across this. Just testing it out here. You know, I'm kind of realizing as I do this, and I kind of knew that the inside corners are going to be the hardest part of this. Getting it to lay down, you know, one of the keys to this fiberglass is keeping bubbles out, but just getting everything to be smooth and nice. Obviously, my expectations have to be somewhat realistic because this is the first time I've done it, but I always put a little too much pressure on myself. Again, these scissors are amazing. I love these scissors. So here I'm cutting the 6 ounce. One tip that Kristen gave me, actually that's still the 12 ounce because it's a biaxial weave, so it's going in 2 directions. One thing that I was told by Total Boat is if you are having issues with fraying of your fiberglass, you can tape it with blue tape, draw your line on the blue tape, and then cut with that blue tape, and it kind of holds it together. I didn't actually have to do that because I had a brand new set of electric scissors that cut it really clean and nice. These are all knocked out and done. Robert's putting the final brand on them. Pretty cool process. Oh, it didn't work.
Didn't work. Not even close to hot enough.
I don't think that was hot enough.
Man, it was all colorful. I was like, that's got to be hot enough.
Yeah, it's deceiving. Try again. We did not get the money shot there.
I'm really sorry. Let me do one first.
Before we film it, if you can see, these have those little hand carved marks in there. I think that's a pretty cool little touch. These are linked in the description. We've got not many of these. This is Texas pecan. Actually, we only have 2 of these. And then we have some walnut and cherry down there. So if you want to help support the channel and the shop, head on down and pick yourself up a cutting board. So obviously we start by mixing up epoxy. This is Total Boat's high performance epoxy. We're using a slow hardener, so we have plenty of working time, open time to spread this. And we're both mixing up our own container. So that way we have plenty of epoxy. The first step here is going to be what's called, I think it's called wetting it out. So basically we're getting the plywood saturated, we're getting everything wet with epoxy, and then we'll start layering on the fiberglass. I don't think you want to just put the fiberglass on dry because the plywood's going to soak up a lot of that epoxy. You want to make sure you've already got it all saturated. Then lay the fiberglass down. So the first sheet of 12 ounce goes on. You know, this is all new to us, so we're just kind of figuring out as we go. What we found worked best, you know, that Total Boat supplied a little metal roller that helps roll out the fiberglass and get bubbles out. And I just kind of started in with that right off the bat, which actually that's more of kind of a finish tool. You can see that cut right there, how the fiberglass starts to, as it gets more saturated, more wet with epoxy, it becomes clear and you can see through it. So really the best technique for us was to grab the scrapers, Robert's got one here, and spread that epoxy all around and then roll it out, especially inside those corners, and get it all pressed out, get all the bubbles out. Here we go with the 6 ounce going across the pan now, and then we're going to spread on a coat of epoxy and start working it all in. And you can really tell if you're looking how once you start getting it wet, it becomes clear and you can see through it. And you want to make sure you have every little square inch of that epoxy fully saturated and covered in resin. Now, all in all, you're not going to see it in the video. We put, I think, 3 coats of the 12 ounce and 3 layers of the 6 ounce. So we built up, that's 6 layers pretty much, where they cross over. On the sides, there's only 3 layers. So I feel like that's pretty stout. We don't necessarily need the strength of the fiberglass because we have, plywood backing, but we do want the waterproofing. That's what we're looking for here. So, I figure the more the better. That's how we should do it.
Oh man,
It's going to be hard, right? I should probably wait until we're... Going to be really hard because you don't really want to go down in there with it until you get it.
right.
It seems like a bad idea. These kind of things I'm not good at. Like folding, wrapping presents.
I think we have way too much material in here.
Yeah. I gotta have a mind not to do this. I mean,
I think we can get it.
I don't know how we're gonna get it. I think I'm gonna have to hold it like this and let you kind of... Yeah, see, it's pulling this fiberglass off pretty bad over here. Shoot. Yeah, hold on. This is gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah.
Let's just take it off. The pill ply is a bad idea.
Changed our mind.
Yeah. It looked way easier in the video.
Well, everything looks easier in the video.
You sure?
Except for this video.
Yeah. It's because everyone does everything perfectly and they never show the bad stuff.
It smells like something's burning.
Alright, so in that last shot, you saw us trying to put... It's called pill ply, so I don't really know what the full point of it is. I was told to use it, so it's basically a material that you can lay down on the wet epoxy and it'll peel off once it dries and it leaves a really smooth, nice finish. But we were having a really hard time getting it in there, and it was grabbing on the sides and pulling the fiberglass and just creating issues. So we just abandoned that altogether. This is pretty much cured up. It's been about 3 or 4 hours. I mean, it needs a little bit more, but it looks really good. There's a few small things I think that I've been told is to be expected. So we got a little bubble here. This is all repairable. And then around the edges, it didn't wrap around great. I don't know exactly how I'll tackle that, especially here where we had that 12 ounce. It really built up pretty thick. I might cut it back down, re-round it, and just epoxy it and paint it. Okay, so once that epoxy cured, one part that didn't really work out well was the top edges. It's really hard to wrap that thick epoxy around and get a good bond around those 1/2-inch plywood edges. So I just kind of took a sander, really heavy coarse, and cut off everything hanging off, and then took my track saw and basically took like 3/8 of material off and just went back to fresh plywood on the edges. Really, I felt like the best thing to do. And then I came back, and I don't think I showed this in the video, but I saturated those edges really well a couple times with epoxy just to kind of seal them up. They're going to get covered when you see how the shower all gets built in the next video. They're going to get covered a little bit, and then we'll probably put some kind of epoxy sealant over them once we assemble the shower. So all in all, it's not a huge deal, but I want to make sure they have some waterproofing on them. The final cut was tricky. I had to just go by hand and use a skill saw because there was only 2 inches of material there to rest on, so I couldn't mount the track saw on it and just had to freehand it. And so, being that I'm such a perfectionist, you know, the inside of the pan was kind of rough in spots, especially in the inside corner. It was just rough from the fiberglass. So, you know, Total Boat recommended using this Total Fair, which is a 2-part epoxy fairing compound. They actually use it on the bottom of boats to fix holes. And I just spread that on kind of like filler and just smoothed everything out. Tried to make all the corners have nice transitions, and you know, it works pretty good. I'm not very good with this stuff, so there's a few areas where it got a little sloppy, but for the most part, it worked pretty good. I went back and sanded it down, and it'll be ready for paint in the next video. Okay, friends, I am working at night. I don't normally film when I work at night because I have a limited amount of time. Kids go to bed, and I just want to get work done. But I want to show you what I've got going on here because it's kind of cool. I've got the shower coming together and I'm excited about this. So you saw me earlier today put the Total Fair in there. This still needs to be sanded pretty well, a lot of sand work, and then we're going to paint it. But I've got this wall coming up and this little filler strip, and then I'm about to work on this end wall. This will have like a door jamb built in once it's all done. And then obviously I'm going to cut a notch out down here so you can step into it and it'll be nice and clean. So it'll have a nice, pretty little wooden jamb made out of some nice wood. These get rabbited on the end, so you see how this is notched and dropped in. It's not clean right now because there's just epoxy and junk on the outside. I'll clean all that off and I'll get a nice clean seat here, and then I can screw screws into this. And this is also going to get screwed in. So this panel actually butts into this, so this needs to slide over, and then we'll screw it in all on there. So it'll be nice. I mean, right now obviously it's pretty flimsy and floppy, but it'll be a lot better once we get it attached to this back panel here. Pretty cool. Same thing here, got a rabbit going. I'm just clamping these for now and playing around. So everything has about a 1/4 inch gap going up to the roof, so that way I can get the top of the shower put in on 1/4 inch plywood. It's actually gonna be about almost 3/8 because we're going to put that 1/8 inch acrylic on it. So I'll need to step these down a little bit more probably. But this is cool, making progress. I'm going to try to get this wall on tonight and get all my reveals set up, and then tomorrow I'll probably try to tackle this wall. Okay, that closes it down for this video. A lot of work got accomplished. I just feel really good knowing that the shower is moving forward. I have it all figured out. The bathroom should be all tidied up and close to done in the next video. I've already started laying up the acrylic walls, which you can actually hear in my voiceovers. That little humming noise was the vacuum pump running on the vacuum bag. So that is happening. Those are getting glued up. And then the walls that divide out that bathroom, the partition walls, those are all laid up, ready to be installed. So a lot is already ready for video 2. So it should be coming to you guys fairly quickly. So be on the lookout for that. And then after that, we're going to knock out this dinette area, build this really cool table and the leaves, the extensions that go on it, and then a really cool wraparound shelf behind me. So those are the last big things to do. A lot of little things to tidy this place up, but very close to camping, and I cannot wait. I'm super excited. I just want to say a huge thanks to Simply Safe for all their support. They've been amazing sponsors of the channel for several years now. A big thanks to Acuva for the awesome water filter, and also an amazing thanks to Kristen and Total Boat for all their guidance and help with the fiberglassing. There's no way I could have done it without their help. So all that will be linked in the description for you guys to go check out. Also, don't forget, I've got the cutting boards. If you're interested in one of those, you can support the channel, support this build, go down and get yourself one. If you don't like cutting boards, I also have merchandise, so you can check that out as well. Like I said, it's all linked in the description. Huge thanks to you guys. Honestly, I don't think I could have moved forward with this build without y'all's support and comments. I really appreciate it. So stay tuned. We're going to hit the shower, and then we're going to finish out the shower in the next video, and then we may have a couple more videos, and the camper will be all done. Can't wait. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.